And welcome back. This is Dr. Lenora Foster, and I'm coming to you today to discuss being proactive in planning for emergencies. So we're going to take a layered approach. First of all, I'm going to talk about personal emergencies, then emergencies that could happen within the classroom, as well as emergencies within the building or community that may impact your classroom. So let's start with personal emergencies. It is important that every new teacher establish a support village. Your support village should have a minimum of 2 teacher buddies that are located next to you or across the hallway from you. So that if there is an emergency, such as you need to run to the office real quick, you need to run to the restroom, you need to respond to a text or a phone call from home that you need to attend to right then, there will then be an understanding between yourself and your teacher buddies that one of them will come and stand in your classroom or in the hallway to monitor your students while you are away. Let's talk about emergencies within your classroom. When you first arrive in your classroom at the beginning of the year and you're setting up your classroom, you want to consider how you're placing your student desk and your teacher desk. You want to make sure that you do not have too much congestion in a certain area that may constrict traffic flow. The more areas of congestion, the more likely it is for students to run into each other or have an accident. So you want to reduce the number of areas of congestion. Also, you want to make sure that you look around your classroom and check the edges of tables and desks and chairs, and make sure that there are no sharp edges that may hurt someone. You also want to make sure that there is nothing in your classroom that is breakable. For example, a teacher may say, well, I like to have flowers in my classroom, a nice bouquet of flowers, and so they bring a glass vase. That may not be the best idea. If you do have a glass vase, you want to make sure that it's set behind the teacher desk and out of the way of students. So just make sure that things that are breakable, things that are unstable, that you take care of all of that before the school year begins. Just give a call to the custodians and say, will you please replace this table, and this chair is broken, what have you, and make sure that is taken care of. Now, this is one thing I know for sure. Most new teachers are so excited about decorating their classroom, and they're wanting to make it a warm learning environment, warm and cozy and just exciting. So they're thinking about things such as bringing in a classroom rug. You may want to rethink that. Some school districts actually do not allow you to have rugs in your classroom. Because rugs are slip and trip hazards. So someone may slip on them, the rug may slip out from underneath them, or it may be that their foot goes underneath the edge of the rug and they trip over it. So a lot of school districts are saying absolutely no to that. So you need to check on that and see if that's allowable, if they will allow you to do that. In any case, some school districts may say you may have a rug, but it must be secured to the floor so there are no trip or slip hazards. So just check on that. I also advise new teachers to go ahead and invest in first aid kits and a small box of disposable gloves. Now, every school nurse that I've worked with have always made it their business to make sure that you have a container or a Ziploc bag with at least 5 bandages and a set of gloves in them. And here's the reality. You may go through the entire school year and not have an emergency in your classroom where you need to use it. You may have a school year where you only use it once. But it is absolutely not uncommon for any given teacher to have 2, 3, 4 emergencies where they have to reach back and get a bandage for someone, whether it's a paper cut or they they clip their finger in the 3-ring binder and now it's bleeding. They have, something is going on. They have a nosebleed or what have you, where you have to reach back and get a bandage or reach back and get some gloves. So if that's the case, the school nurse is providing you with the minimum. It just makes good sense for you to go ahead and have these on hand. And I always have these located in my desk or very close by my desk for easy access. Now, you also need to know where your emergency button is located in your classroom. And in most school districts, they prefer that the emergency button is placed right beside your classroom door. So when you walk in, make sure you look for the emergency button in case there is an altercation, in case a student has a seizure, or, there are various emergencies that could possibly happen. Just make sure that you know where that button is located should something like that occur. Also, if you have a class telephone, make sure you have a list of extension numbers that are updated. Make sure that you have the phone number or extension number of the school nurse, the assistant principal that is down the hallway closest to you, that you have, maybe if you have a police officer located at the school resource officer extension number is there. And also make sure you have the guidance counselor's extension number located on this list, posted right beside the class phone. Let's move on now to emergencies that can happen at school ride. So there are a number of drills, emergency drills that will take place. I suggest for all of my new teachers to invest in a 3-ring binder, okay, that has pockets on the inside. And inside of that binder, you need to have a list of the procedures. And you can find those procedures oftentimes in the teacher's manual that they may have, okay? Or they may provide you with the binder with all of the safety procedures. That would be great. But make sure you have a folder or a 3-ring binder of some kind with that information in there. If they have signal cards, such as, a red card means this, a green card means that, an orange or a yellow card means something else. When you're outside and you're holding things up, make sure you have those items in your folder. Also, you need to have a copy of all of your class rosters. Should an emergency actually occur, and your school will have to dismiss your students from outside, then it's best that you have a class roster to make sure you have accounted for all of your students in an emergency situation, and that you can make note of which students are being dismissed from you to a parent or a guardian. Okay, so make sure you have that. Also, inside of your classroom, right beside the classroom door, your administrative team should have placed a school map that shows the route of how to exit your classroom and which exit door to exit the building. If you do not have a school map, this is one of the things you need to be proactive about. Don't be shy about this. This is a very important thing. Go and ask an administrator, where can I get a school map that shows which exit myself and my students are to go out of to exit the building during an emergency. Make sure you have it laminated and it's posted beside the door. And at the beginning of the school year, at least twice, a minimum of 2 times, you should go over the procedures of leaving your classroom and going out the proper exit. And you should also go over all of the drills, the tornado drill, the fire drill, and what have you, and let them know this is important, take it seriously, and this is what you should do, and if something else happens, this is the next best thing to do. Lastly, we are living in a society now that sometimes things happen in the community that affects the school building, and we need to be on our P's and Q's about. So in the case that there is an unauthorized person on school property, maybe they're on the school grounds, or maybe they have found their way and can possibly get into the school building, you need to be prepared to be the first line of defense for your students. So first of all, you need to make sure that you are aware of the codes that the administrative will give you over the income should something happen. This is what I do. On the back of my teacher ID card, some school districts, some schools actually have it printed on the back of your ID card for you. But if that is not the case in your school district, go ahead and get one of those stickers and place a sticker on the back of your ID card and write on there or have it printed out what each code means. And you should find the codes in your teacher manual. What does the code? Code white means this, code gray means this, code green means this. And so you should familiarize yourself with the codes and know that when it comes to this code, you need to lock your classroom door. You need to make sure your students know they are to stay away from any windows. They need to stay quiet, or they're not allowed to maybe use a restroom pass during this time or run an errand during this time. You need to go over all of those things with your students. And then make it fun. Safety is something that they need to take seriously, but to really make it less tedious, you can have a quiz on it. You can have a fun quiz or a game where they test their knowledge on all of the procedures and things that they should do. Okay, so I hope that is helpful to you. If you have any additional questions about it, feel free to email me at lenorafosteredd@gmail.com, and I'll be more than happy to answer those questions. Every school district is a little different. Every school has a different way of doing things on certain things, but if it's something that I can help you with, I will be more than happy to respond to your emails. Okay, until next time, bye-bye.